Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of our All the Mods 9 to the Sky. Yeah, so you'll notice a big building is behind me, or rather a more complete building than the last. And that seems to be the theme. As we continue to go on, the buildings get more and more completed as each episode begins. And I don't mean the ones that I previously worked on. Hold on, there's a wandering trader up here, and I want to see what he's selling. I've been hoping that one of them will sell an enchanted pickaxe, so that way I might sharpness mending, capturing, looting, and breaking. I mean, honestly, that's all really good, and well, if I'm being honest with you, I'm probably gonna take you up on it. But I really want fortune on the pickaxe, just for the sake of being able to get a little extra ores, because I still have not set up automation in that manner. You won't take a semi, like, come on, it's barely been used, bro. I don't know why it wants to use 4 sticks there. We just want to use some regular sticks here. One. Nice. Bone splitter. So now it has mending, sharpness, all that. It can basically act as our tool. And will double mob rate drops, kind of. We have looting 5, so they drop a lot more loot. And it gives them a chance to drop their spawn egg, which could be really fun for doing spawners later on. Anyways, why is it so dark up here? Did I not ever light this up, or did I light it up and then I come back and de-light it? Anyways, we have quite a few things to catch up on as far as what's happened in between episodes, just because, again, I had a bit of time to play on the world without having recording time necessarily available. And even still now, you might hear me kind of doing a hushed voice. And that's because it's about 2 o'clock in the morning. The whole family's asleep, and well, I finally got time to do what I need to do. So first and foremost, let's go into the new building here. As far as the outside goes, it's polished netherrack with curly netherrack pillars. I really need to figure out some kind of transitional bit here, but for the time being, it can just be tall and flat. We have small red stained glass, and all of this, of course, has been customized with the chipped mod. When we come inside, we have checkered brick tiles, also from the chip mod. Be careful because there are checkered brick tiles and then checkered borderless brick tiles. So just pay attention to what you're doing there. So basically in here we have a setup just like what I said I was going to do, and that is set up a way of automating all of these sort of larger block constructions, but ones that really just needed to be repeated over and over and over again. So this one's not currently set to anything, and that's mostly because there's a lot of stuff that the igneous extruder can make that I may want to have it make in an instant, like kiwi or darkstone, I guess, because I'm not sure what that what all that's used for. So yeah, if I ever want to come in here and make stone or soulstone or any of that kind of stuff, I have a free igneous extruder still ready to go. Outside of that, I have one setup for Blackstone, which we needed to sieve, right? Because Blackstone gives us netherrack or ancient debris, and then not netherrack, netherite. And then over here on this side, we have deep slate, which of course we need for uranium. And then finally, we have netherrack, which we need for quartz. So, and magma cream, and just all kinds of other stuff. Each of these gets piped up. Initially, they were getting piped into here, but then I got to thinking, like, it doesn't make much sense to send everything over in full block form, because I still have to take it and break it down and then send it into the sieve, and that's, kind of defeats the point of automation. So instead, I sent everything up, and then I sent it back down. So not the best use of space here, but it's fine because we're trying to fill the inside of these buildings basically. So there's definitely an easier way to do this, or rather a more direct way, as far as taking things out of here, running them straight into the hammer setup that I have up top, and then just pushing them back out, which we might do later on just to clear up some space once I'm feeling like doing all of that. So they just come up and go into hammers, and then the hammers go into barrels, and then the barrels send it back down. So like I said, it's very unneeded process, but that is because initially I was just sending the blocks straight through, and then I decided, you know what, let me send one of these up and see how it does. I liked it better, so then I sent them all up, and yeah, I mean, this is what happens whenever you get the time to play, but you're not necessarily thinking about what you're doing. So what this setup does, this and the bottom, is essentially just make all of these stone into their dust form. So that way, whenever I do want to sieve them, I can just throw them in our already set up device over there, and they'll run through in, you know, like 5 seconds tops. So yeah, we have a hammer set up. It pumps in whatever block is associated with it. It has power coming from our flux network, which right now is out of power. So most of these have probably, well, it's still working because it still has backup power, but they will run out rather soon here, because what we're going to be getting into today is actually setting up a better means of generating power. So all that being said, that's going to be shipped over to the main building. It's hard for me to remember what's happened in between episodes with this and the other series, just because I do have 2 going on and I don't get to play them back to back or consistently. So it's, you know, it's kind of in the here's and there's. All right. And of course, with this mod pack as well, anytime you see Jade pop up, that's probably just me muting myself so I can take a drink of water or whatever. So, we of course know that our sieve comes in from here. Pretty sure I set that up on camera, right? The whole sieve setup with the ender chest pumping in through LaserIO. I said don't, you know, extract sand and gravel. I did that, right? If not, I guess let me show this setup real quick. If anything, it'll just be like kind of a recap to the end of the last episode. So yeah, we have our materials that get sent in through the donation barrel, which we have over there, or the donation ender chest. The ender chest pumps it into the click machines, and the click machines sieve everything extremely quickly. Then the basic item collector sucks it all up, sends it back into a different ender chest, which then goes into our system. So, in case you missed that, I'm pretty sure I did that in the last episode, and if I didn't explain it all the way, there you go. Then when we come over here, this is the chest that returns the item. We have it being pumped in, I believe, on the south side. Yeah. So everything that's not dust, sand, or gravel will be sucked up through here, through this chest, and sent through. And I can't remember why we had dust, sand, and gravel being not transferred. But nonetheless, we have this yellow chest, which will explain it comes from, I believe, that building over there, and it's just sending through all of our dust. So if we give this just a minute, yeah, there's all of the dust, which has been added to the wall of supplies. So we have crushed netherrack, crushed blackstone, deep slate, I think dust, gravel, and sand. And I moved it all to the same controller, because of course we have 2 controllers. Moved it all over here so that way I just have to use one ender chest being pumped into one LaserIO. So this one still just has the single ender chest. The system obviously is a bit costly. It doesn't need to be this way, but whenever you're in Skyblock, it's like, I mean, you generate all of the items anyways, right? So you might as well use them. Be it to make your life easier as far as not having to move everything, or make it easier as far as looking better, or, you know, however you choose. In case I didn't do this in the last episode, this is an ender drawer. Essentially, it is a drawer that can be placed in two separate places, very similar to an ender chest. So we have cobblestone in this one, and the way that works is, I don't know where the OG cobble gen is. Oh, you know what? It might be back over here. It might be this one right here. Yeah. So this is just constantly pumping in cobblestone. Which, in case you didn't know, works extremely quickly whenever you get up to diamond. I still need to move this setup. This needs to go in this building. All of the Zycraft extractors will go in there, and all of our condenser work, which I don't believe I did in the end of the last episode. So real quick, I'll explain this setup here because it looks, well, I mean, honestly, it looks kind of simple. So first we have, we'll start with the base resource generation, which is the cobble gen. The cobblestone's being pumped out of that using advanced pipe upgrade. That way I can round robin it, which basically just means send to this chest and then send to this chest and then back and forth. Because most of the time whenever you use pipes, you pump into one chest, it fills up, then you pump into the next chest. I didn't want that, so we're using this upgrade. It transfers 32 items every 5 ticks. So it'll be 32 in here, 5 ticks later, 32 in there, 5 ticks later, 32 in here, and back and forth. It's actually so fast that it's a little too fast for this setup and why I need to change it. But it's okay, it works whenever I just remove a stack. You see slime balls are added. They are extracted on the side and added to the drawer up top, which is yeah, just about full. If you're wondering how to get slime balls, because I don't know if I explained that or not, I guess we'll go right up top because it is a rather simple process once you're in the early, well, we'll say once you're in the mid game of everything. So all you need to do this is power. We're just bringing it from the flux point, but of course this could be at your main hub. It doesn't really matter. You'll need a metallurgic infuser, and then you can get a slime ball through this. So you can get clay, add in biofuel, which if you've already gone down mechanism or you might be able to get it through thermal, then you probably already have access to it. If not, biofuel is really simple to obtain. Oh, it is just mechanism. With the crusher, you just put in any plant material. So yeah, I myself, I just threw in like 64 saplings. And yeah, I mean, it's cranking out the biofuel. Then you throw the biofuel in there and it'll give you, you know, the means to power it with clay. Once you have one slime ball, the beautiful thing about slime is it is a mob drop. And as I've already said with this mod pack, most mob drops are EMCable and slime balls are no different. So that is why we're able to do this setup here, which is now full. Cool. Now this back chest a little more complicated. We have oak logs, and that's because I kept having to swap it out in our other setup previously, so that way I could have enough logs to build enough drawers to continue. I mean, really something that shouldn't be happening, but I've been a little slow getting into RF storage or refined storage, sorry. Just because I honestly, this storage system works, and it works well enough that I've not had to get into it, and I can access everything that I need and pull all the recipes and all that good, fine, fancy stuff. But I am getting to the point where I want to automate having like iron bars because I'm getting tired of pulling them out, smashing them down, and then setting them back. And obviously I am completely out because, I mean, everything in this pack requires iron or iron blocks, which obviously are even worse. So back to this setup. We have wood being pumped out. Some of it's going into a drawer. That way I can have it for personal use. And then the rest is being pumped into the bottom side of an obsidian furnace. The obsidian furnace, I can't see any recipes with. It's not over there. Upgrading your furnace is really, really simple. And it's something that I never really went over, but it's something that if you've played mod packs before, then you already know all about it. essentially, let me find an easier example here. Here's an iron furnace. So if you take a normal Minecraft furnace surrounded in iron, you get an iron furnace. This mod is called Iron Furnaces. Cool. So I don't know what the base cook time is, but the cook time on this is 160. You go to gold, it goes to 120, diamond 80, emerald 40, and obsidian goes to 20. Further past that, you do have a netherite furnace, which goes to 5, which is insane. But for right now, the obsidian one is good. If we need to smelt anything, I throw it in. Fuel is constantly pumped in from this setup, which of course, every once in a while, just take some cobblestone out and you're good. But yeah, and it burns really fast. If I ever need to kick it into overcharge, we do have a speed augment, which of course you can access the augments right here, or you can just shift click it in. What this augment does is makes our fuel burn twice as fast, but it also makes the furnace burn twice as fast. So really good if you're in a pinch, and it's part of the reason why I haven't really needed to fully automate a lot of things, because a lot of our systems are so fast that if I need 64 iron, I can throw it in that thing and it's done in 3.5 seconds, right? It's not a big deal. Any hoosers, that's that setup. If you're curious about LaserIO, pretty sure I went over it in the last one with item cards and changing them to extract and using filters. But if I did not, there are a lot of really, really good tutorials out there, and people are going to explain it better than what I will at 2 o'clock in the morning. So just trust me on that and go find a good tutorial. They are very strong, probably. They're my favorite direct contact method of exchanging items. I really like pipes just because they are so simple. They do everything that you need them to do as far as being able to cycle where you're sending them, round robin, last, first, whatever. And you can filter them. You can upgrade them. They have everything that I would want in a pipe, and they're easy to make. That being said, LaserIO. Give me at 2 o'clock in the morning and tell me to record a video. You'll get it spit out at 150 speed with 0% correctness. Anyways, LaserIO is very powerful because it allows you to, I don't think I have it set up here, but if I wanted to pull from a piece of equipment and push items in and then pull some other items out, you could do that all within this one system without having to run 30 wires off of it. Previously, people would use, I believe it was XNet, but XNet was a little confusing. And I'm not saying LaserIO isn't confusing, but anytime you're trying to pull an item from a furnace, let's say, and then push the item back into the furnace, it's really useful to have LaserIO as far as compared to XNet. Anyways, I did initially have this happening to where it would put oak logs in the top and then put the charcoal in the bottom and so on and so forth. But it got a little complicated, and I figured, you know what, let's just stick with oak logs because we don't really need charcoal. We get coal so often that we're pretty much good to go. So, last thing in between episodes, we cleared our power, and this is a very recent thing because we're going to be setting up an all new system with uranium and maybe some superconductors. I did get some steel in between the episodes just so I could get the crusher, because you have to have steel for the steel casing. Steel, very, very easy to make. You need iron dust, which you could get this. I mean, literally, your first iron that you get, you probably got iron dust with. And then it's just coal. So, in case you're wondering what happened to all my iron and coal, well, it went into steel. Anyways, with steel, you can make a superheating element, which honestly, making this is very simple once you have steel in general, because this is just copper and redstone, and then this is just osmium and glass. So, we'll make a couple of those because we have 9 uranium blocks and we have 13 porcelains, so, we need a couple extra boosters there. Can I make 4? I can. Can I make 4 of this? We're running a little low on redstone, but we can. Awesome. Now, the uranium works at times 20 speed. The superheating element works at times 60. So you'll see melt rate 60 times. So obviously some will be a little bit faster. That's okay. What I need now is... Well, tell you what. I'll make another one. But this system's pretty much full up on everything it can need. If I need to smelt more stuff, I can just throw some copper in there. I'm going to take this cobble gen. The reason I'm going to take this one instead of just making a new one is I deleted my source of making lava, right? Because I don't have power source. And I don't have a reserve because I've been pumping it into obsidian. So some things are still done manually. Don't judge me. All right, so first and foremost, yes, we're going to need the cobble gen. This is sort of the base of everything. Let's start it out on this side. And then I basically just want to... Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to make an ender drawer still. And I'm going to link this up with the one from over there. And that way we have 2 diamond cobble gens working, filling the same system. So it really should never... not an ender chest, sorry. I didn't even need to make this. I could have just made a classic ender chest, which is so much cheaper. And honestly, that's what I'm going to do. It's not cheaper as far as obsidian goes, but you pick your battles, you know. Anyways, where am I looking at? Right here. Let's do like that. Send that to the system. Beautiful. Then all I need to do is we'll plop that down. We will get our linking tool. And if I've not explained it, or if you've not known how to do this, all you need to do in order to link ender drawers together is left click. It'll say stored frequency and tool down at the bottom. Then you'll run your happy little self all the way back over to where your other ender drawer is, or you could have just placed them side by side and been smart. Not this guy. And then I always shift right click, and there you go. Now we're going to go ahead and pick this up. And it should retain its frequency. Have it facing like this. Maybe I can look in through the window to see it. I'm not really sure. I do need to put up some way that mobs can't spawn on the base. I think I have it lit up well enough, but like, man, it would be a bummer if I didn't. All right, there's the steak. Okay. Food has been eaten. Rain has been cleared. We are fully slept. Now let's get this rocking and rolling. We're going to need the uranium. We're going to need the superheating element. I need to move this torch. And then what I'm thinking is... It's going to bother me. The problem is you have to have one block on the bottom. All right. And then you need to access it in 2 ways because you need to put items in and take fluid out. So that's kind of the difficulty there. And I'm sure there's some pipes somewhere that'll do exactly that. Obviously LaserIO will, but that gets very expensive when doing it over and over again. Maybe there's not. There is a universal pipe, but you can't push and pull simultaneously with that. That's the problem. So, yeah, maybe there's just not a solution outside of doing exactly what we're about to do. Well, you know what? Is that all the uranium I have? Do I have enough uranium to make to go one more go? I do. Beautiful. Okay. And I'll have to make one more crucible, but that's fine. So let's see, this, that, this, that. Let's do 5, 6, 7. Whoops, accidentally did 8. And we'll go ahead and smelt this. The reason being is I'm thinking we're going to do 5 in the middle, 4 on each side. Maybe 5 on each side, we'll see. But it makes it very easy to expand, replace, know what we're working with, what we have, yada, yada, yada. Also, some may say, Chance, there's a upgrade for your backpack that allows you to have a crafting table right here. And I say, right you are, there is. But whenever I have that and I go to shift click items in, it goes into the crafting table and then I have to shift them over. And yeah, honestly, it's just more annoying than it's worth. Personally, I'll use the crafting table on a stick combined with this little tablet scanner. Any hoosers. So we have our 14 porcelain crucibles. We'll just line these bad boys up like a so. Item pipe. This. That. Round robin. Cool. So that is just, I mean, my goodness, these are already up to 2 buckets. That is insane. I mean, well, no, not even, not even comparable. Times 20 and times 60. But it's fine because these times 20s, you know, you just need 3 of them to equal 1 times 60. So, anyways, let's get our fluid pipes. And what we're going to do is pull, 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 and pull, and pull, pull. And then I just need to wrap this around. Now, you don't have to disconnect these on the back, but I always like to. It's not going to do anything. I mean, it'll make sure that that one crucible stays filled, but if one crucible staying filled is the crux of your problem, then you probably have a bigger problem, is all I'm going to say. Wait a minute. My dumbass. These are the ones that I want. So these I will want to extract. Sitting here disconnecting them. Oh, I don't need these. Except that's the whole reason you're doing this. Alright, those should all be good. Those should all be good, and everything should be linked up. Now, if I just want a little test real quick. Yeah. Alright, well that works. So what I probably will do is have a tank there that I can always pull from. That just feels nice and fancy. Then we'll have our magmators, which I don't want to do this. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. I don't think I need that much space taken up to this, though. It doesn't matter with the magnators because this power system will not remain our main power system, basically. Just being honest, right? Because very, very soon after we make this one, we'll make an even better one. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. There we go. That should all be set up, and that should be running power once again. These are completely drained, but they're trying to play catch up on powering everything that got powered down. So, also, we're going to be making a whole lot more of these today, and that's kind of the whole point of today's episode is to get into POWAH. So let me just organize everything. Now that we have a lot of lava, that was my first step, right? Make a lot of lava. Lava's good to go. We're pumping out crazy tons of it. Now let's get to building the actual, hold on, I'm gonna need that gold. Don't know if I'll need the, oh, sorry, I'm gonna need that iron. Don't know if I'll need the gold. And then let's send everything into the system. So if I want to get started with POWAH, I need to get into energizing orb, which I can already make because I already prepped all of these dielectric rods and dielectric casings earlier because I know that it's just a lot of wash, rinse, repeat. The rods are made out of iron bars and paste. Iron bars, easy enough to understand. Paste is just coal, clay, and blaze powder. Okay, so yeah, what was I doing? Blaze powder, energizing orb, dielectric paste. Coal, clay ball, blaze powder, all this stuff should be very obtainable. If I haven't mentioned it already, you can get clay EMC'd from the clay blocks. Can't do it with clay balls, but you can do it with the whole block. It has a 4 EMC, so very easy to set up once you have the energy condenser. And that's why I set up the energy condenser so early, because it makes farming and getting a lot of these items very simple once you just pump in cobblestone, pull out what you need, right? So we have the energizing orb. Now we're going to need a couple of these energizing rods. But of course, to get that, we're going to need these tiny capacitors. To get a tiny capacitor, we need a big capacitor. To get a big capacitor, we need a lot of blocks of redstone, which I did not really think about that, but that's fine. That's something we can do rather quickly. So let's do basic capacitor. Make 2 of these. Then let's do, not a large, let's just do a tiny. And I'll do 2 of those. Maybe we'll do 6. Okay. So this we should be able to make because I think I have casing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just start out with 4. And then we need some energy cables, which is just a basic tiny capacitor, iron nuggets, and more of the rods, right? So there we go. We also need to go sleep, and we completed a whole lot of quests, which honestly, we've been completing a whole lot of quests, and I've just not been going through the quest book, which I feel like is kind of bad, bad habits. But as far as being able to, all the mods 9 to the sky is probably one of the better packs to where you could go through it and not have to pay attention if you're a little more seasoned at the craft. So yeah, we have a lot of these that are completed, but we never checked our way through, or maybe we didn't get the energy tablet that it wanted us to get to complete this mission here, so we don't get credit for all of these down the way, which is fun and it's good for ensuring that new players understand what's all going on, right? I simply don't want the energy tablet. I think there's better means of having energy on ourselves. And honestly, I'm not going to worry about having energy on my spotty until I have an item that uses energy, such as a jetpack, and we've just not needed one thus far. Don't worry, the time is coming, but for right now, our first flight can wait. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of these. If you want to collect them, you know, they give you some pretty decent loot here. So certainly nothing to sneeze at. I'm just a little lazy and a little strapped on time. So the time that I do have, I just want to do the thing that I want to do, which is build out more systems for automation until I have enough items and everything that everything is easier to do. That all being said, the main point of that is just some systems can be manual and you don't have to feel bad about that. I myself have a bad habit of trying to automate everything or make everything super efficient, and in reality, you just don't have to. All right, so again, we'll probably move this setup later on. I'm not going to worry about automating it right now. Right now, we just need some hardened energized iron, whatever it's called. All the different mods have all their own varieties of irons. You can't keep up with it all, right? So I only have 4 of these rods, but honestly, I don't think I'll need any more than the 4. So if you want to check to make sure that this is set up correctly, you can of course use a wrench from POWAH. I'm just gonna trust that it's set up, and we're gonna let shit fly. I don't have any iron, that's right. Well, as far as letting shit fly, we're gonna temper ourselves. We're gonna hop back over here, see if we have any gravel. If not, we're going to, I guess, humble ourselves quite a bit and go do it. No, we got plenty. We got plenty. Is that 608? Let's see how much that gives us. We were at 0 or close to it. 40. I was about to say, I feel like it's got more to it. That should be it, yeah. 112. Not too shabby, given I just threw in like 600, so. And then do I care about duplicating this? Honestly. I know some people are going to be mad at me for that, but it's like, you can't always be 1000% efficient, or correction, maybe you can, I can't. The older I've gotten, the more I'm like, oh, you know, let's just get to the point of it. And the point of it is that I want to make some energized steel. I really need to look up and make sure that that is what it is, and I'm not just calling it something completely different. What is this stuff called? Energized steel. I had it right. All right, so we'll send the gold ore through, and this stuff is really easy to make. We just need the energizing orb, 1 gold, 1 iron. We get 2 steel back out of it, and we just need some of the rods to power it. So we will make ourselves a hefty little amount, and then we'll look at upgrading the furnaces and sort of keeping it right back in the system. Because once we get the furnaces upgraded to probably hardened, I don't imagine we'll have any power issues, and then we can focus on automating everything by using a little power and making things easier. But right now, I just want to kind of get our setup back up and running and making sure that it's producing enough power to be efficient, because it looks like we're a little starved to the point where we may have to turn that off. And then these should be working. Oh, they already worked. Beautiful. Now, as far as automating this, we'll probably automate it with LaserIO. I'll just go ahead and tell you that little tidbit. Because LaserIO does have a counting filter. So if we take a look real quick. Over here are your filters. There's basics, which just, you know, you can put a block in and say, don't allow this block, or put in 5 blocks and say, only allow these. Anyways, there's a counting filter, which will allow you to set how many blocks are placed inside. So essentially you just pump in your iron and gold and say, hey, only put in one of each. Because otherwise, if you just try and hopper it into this thing, it's going to keep placing the items in. And let's be real, you don't want that. So how many of these do I have? I have 12. That'll be 14 there. 16. We'll go to like maybe 24. I don't think I'll need even that much, but I'd rather have too much than not enough, if I'm being honest. What are we at? 22 here. And 20. Oh, there we are. 24. All right, beautiful. Then we're probably just going to go ahead and break these guys. So I can just upgrade what we already have available here. So from the basic, we can go to the hardened. We have the energized steel. Check. We just need some hardened capacitors, which I'm pretty sure, yeah, you get 2 from each of these. So let's make some of these large ones. 1, 2. I think that's all we need because we'll get 2 from each of them, right? So, hardened, 1, 2. And then, of course, if I want to make this just 1, 2. There we go. So now these generate 200 instead of, I believe it was 80. Then the next step is blazing crystal, which I think we'll be able to do that pretty easily as well. So let's just throw these back down here. And they're going to immediately start pumping stuff up. Now, with the blazing crystal, I believe you really favorite something from POWAH, so that way we just have everything over here. It's either 4 blaze powder for 120,000 or 1 blaze rod for 90,000. Now, even though this method is more expensive, it is more automatable for the blaze powder, at least right now in my circumstance. The blaze rods can be duplicated, and I have duplicated a lot in the energy condenser, but I don't want to burn through, you know, too many. So how many did it say? Was it 6? 4. Oh, it's close. So that should get to working. It is really, really slow. So maybe we upgrade these because these are just starters. They're not even, of course, they're running out of power. Oh, because these aren't hooked up to power. Like that and like that. Now this can transfer 512, but this has a max extract of 800. So it's not extracting the maximum it can, but it's extracting more than it can make. So it is still going to be all right, essentially. And I'm probably going to look at upgrading these rods because these take a little too long. And I think even upgrading them 1 is very doable and should be completed. First, let's see. Actually, you know what? The POWAH quest gives us some really good rewards, just depending because it's all random. So that's a basic capacitor large. I'll take it. Hardened capacitor, we take those. Blazing crystal for the free ski. Dielectric casing, I won't sneeze at. And another dielectric casing. Okay. Not gonna lie, I was hoping to get a better rod, but beggars can't be choosers, and I'm choosing not to beg. So this really just needs a block of quartz for everything. I don't know how many I can make, but if I just make... Oh, can't make too many more. Might be out of quartz there, honestly. I've not thrown netherrack in quite some time. All right, then we just need basics and that. Okay. Let me take all these. 1. And we're missing capacitors, right? 1. And we're missing redstone. 1. 1. And 1. Now what was I doing? Basics. All right. So yeah, that should work faster on everything. We need to go sleep real quick. I wonder what day I'm on. That's not really something that I check when I'm doing like just a normal playthrough. 101. Wow. That's pretty good timing. Right. Rods in place. Now, when it comes to this, it should work a lot faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, so much faster. That's a manageable amount. We have 5 blazing crystals. I don't know how much we need for the upgrade. Because with the blazing, we start producing 800 FE, and that's like good to go. So we need 5 here, so that'll be 10 for 2. And then 4 gets us that. And we need 2. So we need 4, 8. We need 18 all around. We have 5. Well, you know, this may be something I just do quickly in a time lapse. All right. 1 blazing, 2 blazing, red blazing, blue blazing. Anyways, this generates 800 FE per tick, which means these pipes are no longer up to snuff. Can't even export enough power, bro. So let's go to pipes, and we'll make some upgrades real quick. Do I have enough iron for this? 1, 2, I do. Can I go ahead and go for gold? 2, I do. And we probably don't have enough redstone to go for that, so we'll just stick with what we got. 1 and 2. And now they can transfer 16,000 FE per tick, which is, yeah, even more than the max extract. So everything should be good to go, and I can finally plug this back into the system. And yeah, everything's pulling like crazy. These are all stored up, and if I wanted to, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they work no problem. All right, so that is good enough for that for now. And we have enough power to keep us going for quite some time. And then I think what I'm going to do, just to show y'all real quick, because this will be something that I do pretty immediately. What am I? I knew it's going to be missing something. One of those. Laser node. And I'll probably just set this like right here. And then we would need 1 item card to insert into here. And 1 to extract from bottom. And then we would need to extract from here and insert into a different chest. Right? Okay, so let's, oh. I don't know why my tablet scanner just popped right in there. So we will need 4 item cards. Can I make this? 1, 2, 3. Out of nether quartz of all things. And then I'm also going to need a counting filter. How expensive is it? Observer, not too shabby. This. Oh, that's just 4 basic filters. Probably already had that. Observer. We're not going to have any nether quartz for that. We do. We just didn't have enough for the other thing. Okay, so we got the observer, counting filter. Let's go ahead and pop one of those. And then in here, north side is the energizing orb. We'll throw this in. It'll be an insert. The counting filter. And we'll say 1 gold. And I have 0 iron on me. Probably should have gotten more iron before this episode, but that's okay. We did a lot of lot of work in between. So now this is saying insert into here, pull only 1 iron and 1 gold. And if we theory test this real quick, get some chests down, throw that in, downside, throw this, and extract. 1 and 1, and it stops, and we're good to go. Then, like I said, we just need another item card to pull the items out, and we'll have it distributed into this chest, which can, you know, use at your discretion, yada yada yada. Anyways, are you a new wandering trader? You are. Draw speed, speed, arrow velocity. On arrow hit, gain speed. On arrow hit, inflict grievous wounds. It's not bad. I actually already have a totem of the undying. One of your fellow kinsmen brought it to me, so I appreciate all that you're selling. And maybe if you catch me in a better mood come next time we play, then things will work out nicely. We're probably going to go ahead and call it on this episode, because for the rest of POWAH, all we're doing is continuing to cycle up through everything we just did. So we'll go through and we'll make everything into normal, and then we'll make it into energized steel level, then we'll make it into blazing crystal level, then niotic crystal. This is just a diamond in the energizing. Spirited crystal. This is just an emerald. As you can see, this takes 1 million FE. So the cost really starts to jump. And then as far as building this, you need a nether star and blazing crystal. So we're still quite some ways off from the red one. But essentially what I want to get into is building the reactors. We have uranite almost able to be automated, but we're still just a little bit ways away, and I needed power in order to do that, and I needed more power than just what we had, so I needed to upgrade the system. We may go ahead and build 2-3 more magmators just to make sure the system stays solid as we work through automation for the next little bit. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you did enjoy. I hope you enjoy the work and effort that I put in between episodes, and I hope it's not too jumbled to follow along with. Please excuse me as I am extremely tired tonight, but I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. Leave a like down below if you did. Comment if you have any tips, tricks, advice, yada yada yada, for me or even other viewers. And yeah, subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more awesome content from yours truly. As per the usual, I hope you all stay safe, stay awesome, and stay crafting. Until next time, you beautiful, beautiful people. Peace.